Whenever I've had the pleasure of participating in a festival, or sometimes I will sell my candles and room sprays at a local winery if they're having an event. I always love when anyone, potential customers, actual customers, or anyone that I meet asks me about my business. So they'll ask me, what made you get started? What made you choose to start selling candles? Some of them are so surprised because I have such a variety of scents and products that they're surprised that I make them all myself, and I do. So I love sharing with them just very quickly because, of course, it's very busy and I'm dealing with, many customers. But I love to just kind of stop and give them, a little bit of background onto what made me get started. And it had me thinking. So for day 3 of this 30-day challenge um, that I'm on, I'm so happy to make it to day 3. Um, I thought to myself, I'm building out this channel and I want to kind of have some sort of a theme, some sort of a thing that you can expect. Not that we can't change things up, because I'm always open to suggestions and I'm always, thinking about how to make things better and change things up. But I thought to myself, wouldn't it be nice to have Wednesdays be behind the business wisdom Wednesdays? Behind the business wisdom Wednesdays. So that's where I would take the time to kind of share a little bit more about myself and the the inner workings of me starting the business, getting it going. Maybe sometimes, if you want to see it, maybe, let me know if you want to even see me as I make the candles. Um, but I definitely think that there's a lot that goes on mentally inside of a person when they start a business. I know that's how it was for me. That's how it was for me. So, um, welcome to the first. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. So, welcome to the first Behind the Business Wisdom Wednesday. Um, I'm Keisha Melissa. Sometimes I'm referred to as Sage. The company I started is Sage Advice Candle Co. Here's one of the candles that I make. This one is titled Courageous Honesty. So, just to give a little background about the product, right? So, I make coconut wax blended candles. This particular one has some dried flowers in it. So I only use coconut wax, or like a blend of coconut wax. I like to make natural, candles and natural products. So they're not filled with the chemicals that the commercial made candle products are made with. So healthier for you to breathe in. That was very important to me. That was very important to me starting out. And also, I just enjoy working with coconut wax. So when I say coconut wax blend, I mean it could be blended with soy. I have blended it with I've used apricot wax for certain recipes. I've used olive oil wax, but for the most part, I just enjoy using coconut wax. Right now, I'm using. Oh, my phone just rang, so I hope that it didn't disturb the video. But either way, I like using coconut wax also because it's easier to work with and things like that. They take a very long time. They have a like to finish. So they last a long time. And so this one here, Inspired Moments, which is cactus flower and jade. Oh, I should say Courageous Honesty is Gardenia tuberose. Okay. Now, cactus flower and jade, which I call Inspired Moments, um, this particular one on top, you might notice well, if you ever see me personally at a festival, I put the burn date on them because natural waxes they have a longer cure time. So that means it takes a longer time that you would have to wait after making them to allow all of the fragrance, the wax, and everything to gel together so that you know you have a great burning candle, smelling candle. All of my candles, the scent fills the room. I never want anyone to buy one of my candles, light it, and then think, oh my gosh, they can't smell it. So they're all like tested. These are all recipes that I've tested. And I know that when you burn it, you're going to smell it all over your home. Um, so yes, so the burn date. So let's say I made it. This one said 510. So burn on 510. This is the date that you wait to burn it. So that means that it has cured for at least 2 weeks, and it's ready to burn on the date that I might put on there. Um, the names, and I've mentioned this briefly in my other videos. So the names were created, are thought of in the sense of what I would say to encourage myself or be motivating to others. So when I made the product, when I decided to teach myself how to make candles, it was in 2020 during COVID. And it was also just a very um, difficult time for me. So, besides there being COVID, there were a lot of personal things going on in my life. So, for example, I I went through a period of course, looking at myself and wanting to lose weight and stuff around the time that I started to, think about what I could do. But even before that, earlier that year, I was going through the IVF process, and I actually became pregnant, but I also had a miscarriage that year. So it was very, very difficult for me that particular season of my life. And so, in the effort to help myself to feel better, I also went through job loss that year. So it was just a lot of things, right? You have COVID going on, then I have miscarriage going on, then I'm let go from my job. Um, it was like a massive restructuring at where I was working towards the end of the year. So it's like I'm working, I'm dealing with all those things, but I'm working. We're getting used to working from home. When I was pregnant, I had to travel further to see the doctor. Oh, if you know, you should remember that time. If you're watching this video, you remember that time. So at then around that towards the time that I lost my job, it was just I just got tired of just feeling down, right? I got tired of just feeling down all the time. So um I just, when watching YouTube videos, I decided to say, I think I want to do something. I was gifted a candle from someone that and I really liked the candle. And so I bought the candle myself, but then I said, it's a nice scent and it's a unique scent, but it really made me say, I think I could do this. I could do this, you know? And so I started watching YouTube videos and I started learning different things. I placed an order on Amazon for just I didn't know what I was doing, but waxes and things like that. And then the entire order, I never received the order. I got a message saying that the order was destroyed and it was just undeliverable. I'd never experienced that before. But then it made me research some more, and then I discovered that 20 minutes away from me, I live 20 minutes away from one of the largest candle suppliers in the country. So they supply products for candles like wax, wicks, you know, jars, all kinds of things. But they also supply for other things that other people want to make. So if you wanted to make like lotions, lip balms, scrubs, blah blah blah. You could go to this one place, smell different fragrances, and test things out. And I bought from them a starter kit. So if you wanted to like learn how to make candles, they put everything in the box for you to try. And so I said, cool. Spent the $40, bought the starter kit, came home, and then watched different videos online and tried to follow the directions and start to teach myself that way. And literally just through YouTube and just curiosity, And the fact that I've always loved perfumes and fragrances and scents, I said, you know what? I think this would be for me. Tested it out. This is the room spray version. But the first scent that I ever created was Happy Home, and it was a blend of different scents together like a happy experiment, but the main scent in this is black currant and lavender vanilla. It's a very unique scent that I created, that you can't really put your finger on it, but it just felt so homely to me, so that's why I called it Happy Home. These are the room and fabric sprays that I make, so you can, I love to spray them, and I demonstrate these at the festival. So they're room and fabric sprays. So you can spray them on your clothing, as I'm doing right now. You can spray them in the room, spray them in the air. You could think of them as like a non-toxic form of Febreze. Like, so you can spray them on your clothing, bed linen, your car, whatever. And this, and I use a solution that doesn't have any alcohol, parabens, phthalates, safe. It's pet safe, things like that. So I just enjoy making natural products that are safer for people to use rather than the conventional products that are out there. They're long lasting, they're of good quality. But most of all, starting this business, it was a step in the direction of healing my spirit. And with all that was going on and all that I was dealing with, and just, and then on the tail end of that, I was also trying to fix my health. So when I started the business, it was around the time I had made the decision that I was curious about water fasting, right? Um, Before that, I think there was the announcement of the death of that actor, Chadwick Boseman, that passed away. I think he had passed away from dealing with colon cancer. So Chadwick Boseman, um, the actor that was a star of Black Panther, had passed away, and then it made me really think about, he was so young and everything, and it made me think about the fact that I really have to get my health together. I still am on that journey. I'm still on that journey. So you can ride along with me for that as well. But that's also the year while I was, you know, trying to encourage myself. The names of the candles reflect that courageous honesty, which goes along with what I'm doing now, stepping out of my comfort zone, starting a YouTube channel, trying to be, not trying to be, but being vulnerable on camera, sharing more of myself, and really really just putting it out there, and trying to like do my best to not let fear stop that. But when the announcement of him passing away, I started to look at myself. I wasn't happy with my weight. I'm still not happy with my weight, but it introduced me to water fasting, which I can probably go into in another video. And I spent years learning more about my body, learning more about how my body reacts, whether I like it. By the following year, I ended up water fasting for 30 days straight in April of 2021. So, I really know that there are very strong benefits to it. The energy, burst of energy throughout my body when I was just trying to figure out fasting, doing 1 day here, doing 2 days there. That was also around the time that I, was learning, teaching myself how to make candles. Within about a month and a half, I had my first candle made, gave it to my best friend. That's, my sister from another mom, Mr. Okay, best friend in life and sister, gave her a candle, which was Happy Home, which was the first candle I made. And she was just amazed, um, and just, and was burning it all the time and saying, "Oh, it's really great, it's really great." And I'm like, "Oh, awesome." So, but anyways, that's how it started for me. Fall of 2020 is when I started to, just so many things converged at once. And I decided, I want to teach myself how to do this. And then I start to think, you know, how do I want to do it? How do I want to do it? Well, I want to use natural waxes. I want my products to be a healthier alternative, um, to what's out there. And it's funny because when I started watching, um, learning about water fasting, I learned from a channel that was called A Healthy Alternative. You should check it out. But yes, I learned from I learned from that channel all about water fasting, and then kind of took it from there. You know what I mean? So, um, anyways, so that's the gist of how it started. It came, my candles, my business, Sage Advice Candle Co., and the name even, Sage Advice. I thought about myself. I thought about the fact that, I like encouraging other people. And a lot of the times I've always been told, what you've told me has helped me somehow, in another person's life. Something about something I said, or something about the way that I um, interpreted something for another person, it helped them in some way. So when I say Sage Advice, or I name my company Sage Advice, it's literally coming from the old saying, like sage advice is the best advice. Sage meaning there's some wisdom behind the advice. um and then, of course, when I started selling at festivals, people would ask me, "Do you sell sage?" And I did sell it. I did sell it for a little bit. I bought some sage bundles so I would have it ready for when people ask me. So that was fun. That was fun. But that wasn't necessarily. It's like a double meaning, right? I do use sage sometimes, clearing out my space and stuff like that. But honestly and truly, I named it Sage Advice because that's I wanted it to be products that communicated encouragement, motivation, things like that. And then there are also all the names are names that are an extension of my personality in some way. Um, so there are times in which, if I think about something that's happening in my life, so for example, I named, let's see here, Midnight Epiphany. So Midnight Epiphany, beautiful scent. Moonflower nectar is the scent. I named it Midnight Epiphany. Probably can't, there we go. Probably see a little bit better. um, because there are times in which I will be up late at night and get certain flashes of inspiration and ideas. And so I said, okay, that kind of relates to me. I'm going to name it that. Another popular scent, Feng Shui and Sage. So this kind of plays on the, Sage Advice name, but I do, use Sage, and the idea of, um, Feng Shui. When we think about the way you place things, the ancient Chinese um, wisdom of the way you place things in the room, and the certain energies that will come from the way you have things set up in your room or in your space. And I also, see that and equate that to life. The way you have things set up into your space can affect you. Um, Decluttering can be very helpful to making you feel more freer, making your mind and your space feel more freer for new ideas to come in. And that's my rosemary sage scent, another very popular scent. A lot of people say it reminds them of Christmas time, like a pine tree, things like that. Very calming and refreshing. But anyways, um, I'd like to name them that because, like I mentioned in my previous video, I wanted to communicate positive feelings, motivation, encouragement, add a little bit of vulnerability in there in my products. And when they smell, when customers use my products, they spray the sprays or they light the candle, the scent can take them, be nostalgic in a way, or be encouraging in a way, or be calming in a way. And I like to name, based on what I'm inspired in my spirit to feel, and match it with the scent, so it kind of has that particular feeling to it. But of course, the scents mean different things to everyone, and I always love to. It's the best market research when I do festivals to get feedback from people, whether you like it, even if you don't like it. And it's funny because, of course, what one person may not like, because of course it's all up to your preference, is what another person loves. And I just love that just about, people in general. And that it's the same way for me too. So um, I just, I really it's been something that has changed my life to be able um to participate in festivals, to make the products, to give them, sell them to people, to see their reactions. I have now, I can sit back and go to festivals, and there are people that remember me from when I first started. There are people that, are still, they still have their using their room sprays that maybe they bought from me. I introduced the room sprays in 2024. So 2 years ago, that's when I introduced the line of room sprays, and they were a big hit, especially in the summertime. Um, but for the most part, I still have people that remember when I first started selling room sprays from 2 years ago, and they're like, "Yeah, I still have it. It's still, they're concentrated scents, so you don't have to like spray a lot in order for it to be effective." So literally, it's kind of unbelievable, but I love it. I love it that all of my products are, great quality, long lasting, and healthier for people and the environment. Um, so yeah, though that's a quick gist of how I started. Um, you let me know, what would you like to hear for the next Behind the Business Wisdom Wednesday? Would you like to see me making candles or room sprays? Would you like to learn more about um, how to do it? The setting up of the business? Let me know. I have also a quiz in my bio. You can check it out, or on the community tab of this YouTube channel. I have a, what is your maker archetype quiz. It's a free quiz you can take for fun, and you can see, if you were ever thinking about, do you want to make jewelry? Do you want to make candles? Do you want to, if you've ever thought about, making something, being like a handcraft business, but maybe you are trying to narrow down where your interests lie, go ahead, take the free quiz and see if you, see where you land as an archetype. I have 4 different archetypes. I won't tell you what they are. Take the quiz and find out. But I'll give you a little hint. So you might end up being an artisan or a visionary, or based upon how you fill out the quiz, it kind of tries to key in on your personality type, and try to help guide you into what type of maker you are. What would you like to try first? Maybe you want to do pottery. Maybe you want to do jewelry, things like that. And then also I created a who are you blueprint, or who you are blueprint. So basically, once if you take the quiz, you'll get a chance to see what type of maker you are. And then if you want to take it further, then I kind of help you as a guide. That workbook gives you kind of like a guide to say, how can you inject more of yourself into your business, which is similar to what I explained how I started my business. How can you inject more of your personality into your business and what you want it to be? And so that you feel confident and proud of what the business is, and what you want to, where do you want to take it? And I believe that can be done in any business. you know Someone could look at this and say, well, it's just candles, everybody makes candles. Yeah, but it is the energy and the message that I put into my candle, into my business, and what makes it uniquely me is going to be different from other people. Inspired moments, me coming up and deciding I want to make this business and I want to inject myself into it. That was an inspired moment for me, which is why I named it that. And I've had many inspired moments since. And I continue starting this YouTube channel. I could literally say, you know, finding this group, watching Renee Coakley's videos and other people that I found on YouTube, um, and then joining this wonderful cohort group, the Build Your Options cohort group, and we're doing this 30-day challenge. That was an inspired moment for me. When I discovered that, wow, and watch the videos and start to see, I think I'm ready to actually do it. I've always wanted to do it, but I just, like I talked about in my other videos, the fear, you know, judgment, feeling like, all that stuff. I'm learning in this season to let that go. I let it go. Still letting it go. Still, it's not, you know what I mean? But it's getting better. It's getting better with each video. It's getting better. And so that was an inspired moment for me as well in recent times. And every time I do post a YouTube video, it's another inspired moment for me because every time I'm just like, wow, this is not so bad. Should have been doing this a long time ago, right? But it's still baby steps though. It's still baby steps. I'm not broadcasting this to like friends and family or anything like that yet. Um maybe after the 30 days are done. Maybe after the 30 days are done. Maybe I'll take it further and extend it past just 30 days straight of making content and take it to 60, 90 days. Let's see. Let's see. Um but I'm enjoying building up my library of videos, my library of content. I'm enjoying seeing it grow. Um, um, yeah. So yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, like I said, please let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the idea of behind the business Wisdom Wednesdays. What more would you like to learn about um, myself and my handcraft business? What aspects would you like to see? And let me know. Would you like to start your own handcraft business? Like I said, go ahead, take the free quiz that's in my bio on this channel and if you want to go deeper and take it further, I encourage you to check out my blueprint workbook. Check it out. If you really feel like you want to take the leap and come out of your comfort zone with seeing whether or not you want to start your own handcraft business, I would love to. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, and I love when people really start to, see deep inside themselves and think and ask yourself questions like, and try it. Why not? You know what I mean? Try it. I am so glad that I did. Starting my own business opened up a whole new world for me. And so I hope that you would consider it as well. I hope you consider it as well. All right. Day 3 of 30 is done. And I'll see you for the next video for day 4.